nice to like be out and about, and I was also telling him that Middle East is like Salman fan, like
Yeah, that's
major,
absolutely.
yes, yeah.
Right.
Because every Arab friend of mine, anyone who's like I'm from Bahrain, right? So anyone from like Bahrain and Bollywood means Salman Khan. There's a lot of passion in the content itself that inspires me to become a better performer. You give me bad material, I'll perform badly. How can I change like this into like give me, I don't know how to, you give me chandi, how can I turn it into sona, right? Like how do you do that? You actors who were probably, I would say, out of job now and are phenomenal actors sitting at home, they're all getting a new life. um, in fact, stars also, I'm sure, have realized that it's not what, that's not what really matters anymore. What matters is good performances.
So I have with me Mamta Mohan here in Abu Dhabi. She's here for IIFA, and there are a lot many more things to speak to her about. I've been waiting for this for a really long time. Pleasure having you back with us on Hungama.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So are you enjoying this entire IIFA experience?
Absolutely. I've been at the IIFA2022 once before, but this is the first time I should say that I got a direct invitation from IIFA, and I was. In the beginning, I was a bit perplexed. I was like, how many people from the south are coming to the IIFA?
Yeah.
But it's an honor to be here. It's beautiful. I'm enjoying this.
Great. So you were having this very, very in-depth conversation with Salman Khan yesterday at the press conference.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering that what exactly is cooking?
What were we talking about?
Yeah. What was?
Well, I was like, "Are you well?" I'm like, "Yeah, मैं ठीक हूँ." It was a very simple, but we looked very serious, right?
Yeah,
We were in like conversation. No, we were talking about a few years ago we had met at the Celebrity Cricket League, and that was the first and the only time I had an in-person, a chat with him.
Yeah.
And we were in one frame at that time. I think I had a picture of it with me as well, which I don't have it with me right now. So we're just talking about that, and that it's been a while since we had events like this, so it's nice to like be out and about. And I was also telling him that Middle East is like Salman fan, like
Yeah, that's
major, yes,
absolutely.
yeah.
Right.
Because every Arab friend of mine, anyone who's like I'm from Bahrain, right? So anyone from like Bahrain and Bollywood means Salman Khan. Did you work with Salman Khan? They don't want to know anything else. They don't ask about regional films. Yeah, and I'm like, I haven't worked with Salman Khan yet, but I will one day.
Okay, so but any chances of that? I thought that maybe you guys are discussing a movie or something.
In Malayalam we say "Naakku ponnai varte." It means whatever you say may turn to gold.
Right.
Let it come true.
All right, and I think he has a fabulous sense of humor at the press conference. The way he was just cracking jokes.
Oh my God, yes, it was so true. Like we should have just given him a mic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He kept dropping one-liners. Yes.
That's what Shahryar was saying.
You're actually missing out on the cream.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So looking forward to the performances, because it's been a while that
Yeah.
that Bollywood functions or like say film related functions
Yeah.
they've happened internationally.
Yeah.
After a while.
It's big because IIFA itself is coming after I think 2 to 3 years, I think, since they had the last IIFA. So as much as I think more than me looking forward to it, I think the whole industry is really looking forward to making this happen. And also I think this is also one of the first biggest awards happening post-COVID, if I'm not wrong, because others are yet to happen.
Right.
But IIFA officials also told me that our Utsavam is also going to happen this year. So that will be nice for the South Indians.
All right, and so when you have, say, for example, so many people coming together, and there'll be music tonight, and there'll be at the IIFA Rocks, and there'll be the entire function tomorrow, the IIFA Awards tomorrow. When you look at performances, how do you respond to them? Like you're a fabulous performer yourself when it comes to singing. I've seen you perform live on stage.
Okay.
And so how do you look at the performance? Do you find some certain he's got off key, and this is something which is not like maybe he's singing on a DT or something. It's like it's lip syncing is going on, and he's not singing it actually, he or she. Do you do that?
Well, I would say that more than a good singer, I would say I'm a very good listener first.
Okay.
So I do catch off pitches, and I know, okay, this person's definitely recorded with auto-tune, which
Yeah.
means, there are a lot of actors who, artists, I would say, singers especially, who have, today it's the world of social media now. So what works is what everybody can sing. It's not about the best singing anymore, or that talent per se anymore. So we know when some singers use auto-tune in the recording studio, and today that's how music is being made. But in that, you can identify brilliant singers as well. And in fact, yesterday there was a small, during the press con, there was like, few singers did sing because they're all performing tonight. Devi Sri Prasad is a dear friend of mine, and we have made some brilliant music together. I've sung for him. I got my first Filmfare for singing with one of his songs. Right. So, he's our relationship goes a long way. He's performing, and I'm really looking forward to it. But he's not a singer predominantly, he's a composer, who's made like massive hits. So I'm looking forward to that performance. Of course, Yo-Yo Honey Singh is there, who is, a sensation when it comes to very, very entertaining. His rap is like, I would say I'm a fan of his rap. Probably not so much the Surili Awaz mein singing, because he's a rapper. I mean, and his writing is good. I really like his lyrics, and I thoroughly had fun yesterday. But there was a singer, I'm sorry I do not know her name, but she was standing to the left of Honey. And
Asis Kaur.
Yeah, when I went down, she had like little curly hair. When I went down, I did tell her that your voice is really, really good. And
I was coming to that, I think she was the one who, when she sang, so first of all, she did not have any excuses. And she, when she sang
like
out,
your honesty there.
She belted out,
yes.
It was a train one.
Yes, I really enjoy that. So I'm definitely, she's probably, she's another performance that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And it'll be fantastic. I mean, we haven't felt this energy in a very long time. The energy that I get from the audience is amazing when I have been, I have performed on stage earlier. And for IIFA per se, for Utsavam, I did have the opportunity. I think it was the first IIFA, if I'm not wrong, done in the South. I did perform it wasn't a singing, it was like a huge dance performance. And Shamak was the choreographer at that time. And the energy that you get from a stage like that is fantastic, because they had, the way they had done lights and sounds was so magical and powerful that you feel the energy of that when you're standing on stage, right? The crowd is, after some time you zone out, right? Because you don't see what's in front of you. Right. You're performing with the energy that you get from that stage. So I think as a performer, it's very important to respect that stage. Trust everyone that's around you in your team that's helping you put this act together. Right. And then baki, go with the flow. So today is going to be good.
All right, so I saw Jana Gana Mana. It has come up on an online platform yesterday only.
Correct.
I think it was, I'm here in IIFA, but I was literally finding time anyhow that I have to see this film, and I saw the entire.
Thanks for watching it.
Yeah. And it's a brilliant film. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm sure that you must be getting great response in the time.
Lots. I mean, it's ever since it released. I've been traveling quite a bit ever since the movie released. In fact, I watched the film in Bahrain. I did not watch it in India. I could not celebrate the success of that film with my team because I did want to share, those moments with, especially the director and the writer of the film, with whom I feel very, very close. I think all of us were out of, if I'm not wrong, me as well as Prithvi were out of station on the day of release. Fantastic responses. It's being unanimously being accepted by people, not just who are Malayalis, but also by a lot of non-Malayali friends of mine, a lot of friends of mine from Bombay. In fact, there was one friend of mine who kind of went ballistic over the film and took 3 different sets of friends on 3 consecutive days, on an entire weekend. And they were all non-Malayalis. And what resonated with them, I think, is the writing, the ideology, the rebellion, the revolution, the young minds, the coming together for the greater good. A lot of those things spoken of in the film is so relevant to our judicial system, things that are happening around us. Also the approach that Prithvi as a lawyer, how he catches the people's attention and then, goes against it. Like why? Like while one person is being adored and celebrated, or this news is being sensationalized, calling that out, right? Like what if, what you see is not
The actual truth.
it's not the actual truth. So there's a very interesting plot twist in that, and how he steers the mind of people in the other direction to actually bring out the truth. That really created a lot of impact in the storytelling, because the first half, see, most films we get responses, oh, the first half was fantastic, and then okay, the last 20 minutes worked.
Right.
But over here it was the first half that was like a bit lukewarm. I would say people were having a nice cruise, but then it just skyrockets in the second half, and it really stood up. So for me also, it was like I wanted to see how this film was going to be put together finally, because we know that if you look at it, not the key characters in the film don't really have much interaction with each other. They all survive independently in their strength. They're all strong in their independence. So I think people connected with the characters, people connected with the story. I knew that there would be something for everyone in the film. We as a team, we knew that this is going to be a film that will have like a pan-Indian effect, because it does cross all those boundaries of state or language or color, or so yeah.
Yeah, I think I basically understood the film from the subtitles, and I think there's this dialogue that your silence can become a license.
Yeah.
I think it literally just makes you stand up and take notice, and it's hugely inspiring. One thing that I found really interesting was, many times there are these discussions, and how many times actors and all these people, they tend to squabble that हमारा role कितना बड़ा है, that हमारा role जो है उसका duration क्या है. The way your and say Prithvi's roles, they are just enmeshed together. They're extremely important. They come and they make an impact. Each time, say, you're appearing, Prithvi is coming after almost 1 hour of the film.
Yeah.
But once the film ends, you take back remnants of both the performances.
Yeah.
And you realize that it's not the duration and all those.
Not about our screen time.
It's not about the screen time, or the fact that you have to be there in all the impact scenes, and you have to be the ones who's the one-man army in terms of savior, or the works the way it happens. And I think that is the victory of film as an entirety.
Yeah, I agree.
That you
because,
take back remnants.
There was another correct. I mean, there was another interview in which I mentioned that this story would have stood even if we did not act out those characters, because not just the characters, but the whole thing in its embodiment was so powerful and strong. What added that extra edge to it is the fact that someone like Prithvi played the lawyer, Surajit played the the cop. I played Sabha Mariam, the one who dies, right? Says goodbye. So, it's the story independently would have it shines. And I think someone like Shahryar Mohammed was the writer of that script. Screenplay, amazing screenplay. That credit needs to it needs to be given to the director and the writer. They have done a phenomenal job, because they have worked tirelessly for 1.5 years to put this movie together. And in fact, Prithvi would shoot his part and go. And even if we did communicate, we would just check on, hey, how did your part go? Like, how was your part today? Because we are not interacting in the film, but how to knit it in a way that all these characters feel connected to one another. It is a big challenge, and obviously we have to bank fully on the director, right? Who's going to keep us connected. Each artist, they were so wonderfully prepared for execution of such a big film. Because the first time I listened to the story, I was like, it sounds very good, Dijo, but how are you going to make, because it sounded like something like a Rang De Basant. It leaves that impact, in your hearts, and you feel very proud to be an Indian, or you get that, patriotic feeling when you. That's what I felt when I listened to just the story. So obviously the narration would have been that good enough for me to be able to watch a film and feel the weight of that of the subject that we have. We're trying to make turn into a film. Like, how do we have all that? Because I didn't take a full reading of the script. It was more of a narration that went on for about an hour and a half. And it's beautiful how this magic, it just comes together, and you need to understand that there were so many challenges in making this film right from day one. The first schedule itself got packed up, I think, 6 days earlier because Prithvi gets COVID. The second schedule, I think Suraj hadn't got COVID. So every 2 months, we're trying to call a new schedule of 15, 20 days because each location was different.
Right.
So in spite of all this, a young director like Dijo and Shahryar Mohammed, who have an amazing chemistry, they're a beautiful working duo because they've worked together on his first film called Queen as well. And this is Dijo's second film. So
Second film only?
Only second film. And you can see how much he's matured. I personally, I haven't watched Queen yet. I've only seen snippets of it. And I liked the snippets that I saw. And but placing that faith in someone who's so young and who's only one film old, that's where producers come into the place, right? But for producers to back them, you need a strong story. And Sharis, and it wouldn't have been possible, without Sharis. And Sharis is a very, very shy and very restrained sort of a person. They have a very interesting working chemistry. And they worked in tandem right from, because I see them while they're taking each shot, they're whispering to each other, like something or the other. And then all of a sudden, Dijo would just land in front of the camera and say, not like that, and this and that. And like he has this, and he knows those keywords, to kind of like kick up the adrenaline of the actor just before they start performing. He has these keywords as reminders. Think about this, like think about that, like, and then go into it. So young and so dynamic, and he's not even really from a full film background. That's what. So I just, I'm in admiration of this new talent that knows how to give us the right energy, because you don't get that. There might be directors that I work with who are like 10, 15 films old, but they don't connect with you fully. So I have a beautiful connection with Dijo and Sharis, and I hope to work with them again in the future. And I keep telling Dijo, this victory is yours more than you know. Not of course we can talk about Prithvi, all the actors, right? Take more of the credit, I would say. But I said, this victory is yours. Keep it with you. Keep it inside you. Be humble about it, and may you make many more amazing
And I hope
films
so.
together.
Definitely, I hope so. So you're saying that anyone could have played the parts by say you and Prithvi. I think both of you're outstanding actors, and I'm talking about you, for example. What you bring to the table is that level of earnestness that you bring to the table. I think it's totally unique.
Thank you.
And for example, when you're confronting the university
Vice
administration
Chancellor.
and the vice chancellor about I think Vidya, her name is Vidya.
Yes, yeah, the
Susan.
girl, yes.
Yeah, so that level of earnestness is truly remarkable, and even the professor who's trying to bribe her, the way Sabha responds to that guy,
yes.
and right through, I think, like she's the voice of reason, she's the catalyst for what
yes,
the
also
youngsters,
to create the next generation
next
of
generation.
yes.
So I think every scene that you're appearing, that is that level of I think massive dignity, which is something that you're giving to the character and to the film industry, because many times we see that that there are certain films that are being made which may not be really bringing people together, and I think cinema is a very very dynamic and far-reaching medium, which can create an impact.
Definitely, and in the right manner. It needs to be done in the right language, with the right demeanor. It needs to be done carefully.
Exactly.
Creating change needs to be done carefully. It's not something that you can approach carelessly. And a lot of that is happening off cinema as well. Now we're having a very divide. There's so much division in the way people think and function and make their get their point across. So I think Sabha is a very good example of how her character in itself, right? I mean, of course, I kept telling Dijo, anybody can play this character. I did. I kept pushing back and saying, anybody can play. Oh, she's going to die anyway. So, why? But he was very, very adamant till the 11th hour. He kept telling me, because they had started shoot, and I kept telling him that, nee, like, let me think about it. Like, my schedule's still like two schedules away. But he was very adamant, like right from the beginning. And I think I was the second person to get casted after Suraj Jetton's character. It was, he wanted Sabha in place. So he put so much faith in me. And, I think when it comes to performance, it's not for me to tell how much I did for to become Sabha or with what conviction. Any material you give me, when there's good material in front of me, I think I enjoy performing it. And when I know it's going to be part of a film that is going to be so beautifully made, then you get extra energy from that.
Of course.
There's a lot of passion in the content itself. That inspires me to become a better performer. You give me bad material, I'll perform badly. How can I change like this into, like, give me, I don't know how to, you give me Chandi, how can I turn it into Sona, right? Like how do you do that? You can't. You can add. Of course, there's the fans who know Mamta, maybe they love me, so they appreciate what I'm saying or what I'm doing. But genuine good material and writing, I believe you can put anybody there and they probably have a chance of shining.
Right.
So this was just a culmination of both of it coming together. I think people loved the way Sabha looked, the way she was styled, coming to the other side of it. It was a very pleasant appearance. My audience loved me when I put, like that, hijab, scarf, whatever, in the Muslim Islamic look. I have fans right from Anwar who love me in that tattam, we call it tattam in Malayalam, tattam look. So there are a lot of things that worked for Sabha in itself. And then in that you give me some brilliant script also, then I enjoy performing it. Because it is something that can create some sort of wave. In the story itself, we are creating the next generation of women who are going to, women or, young minds who are going to stand up for similar causes. And then what I love about that last, I tell this girl, no, you go file your nomination, and then she comes out and she walks. And then there's a blur shot of this girl, and then it goes to the next generation, another fresher, who's come into the university. And I loved that shot, how it went from from one generation of campus students to the next generation. It's kind of passing it on, right? So that needs to be done in the right manner. And most people misconstrue when I use words like doing it graciously, doing it slowly, they just don't seem to get it. But I think it's beautiful. I think we are in a time of change right now. And you're not going to be able to set the new change like right away. It doesn't happen that way. It's going to take its time. And we do it through new stories like this. This is inspiring. It lifts you up. It makes you think differently. And cinema has always impacted minds and the lives of people. It
does. It's a huge medium.
Yeah, it's a huge medium.
It's a mass medium, actually.
Investing in stories like this, in storytelling like this, in characters like that, I think at some point it will be worth it.
Hopefully, definitely. It will, hopefully.
Yeah.
There's so many things that one can speak about as far as Jana Gana Mana is concerned. I think the music is outstanding.
Yes.
I don't understand Malayalam, but whatever English translation that I was, lyrics as well. I was reading. It's beautiful, and the songs, I think they're really nicely sung, and I think I'm sure that you will approve of the singing as well.
Yes. No, I mean, when it comes to music, me and Dijo were going over some things, and it was like I gave this reference. I was like, I know.
You're a classically trained singer, so I'm sure that you will understand. You will know the nuances, and you'll point out